Hello everyone, this is Steve, and today I'll show you how quick and easy it is to create and edit a Salesforce Flow using ForceClaw. So you can see I'm in Microsoft Teams. Since Teams is one log thread, I had to prefix my request with new to start a new job. So I said, in the Nomad org, can you tell me what automation exists on the position object? So ForceClaw read the metadata of this object and it told me no flows and no triggers. So then I asked what values are on the department pick list, and it listed those. As you can see, I have the values here. From there, I made a compound request. I said, can you add HR as a value, and then create automation that says when the department is set to HR, the location field should be updated to headquarters. So then, as always, ForceClaw goes into planning mode before it builds anything. It laid out the plan to add HR to the pick list and then to create a before save flow. Because again, we're updating the triggering object, so it makes sense that that would be in a before save. And every time it plans a flow, it generates a diagram and it tells you what the flow is going to do. So it says position before save. It's going to check if the department is HR. If it is, we'll set the location to headquarters. And if there's a fault, it says to send the error email to info@forceclaw.ai. The reason it did that is because if we go and look at our ForceClaw dashboard, we have this page, Bot Skills. And this is a tab where you can give the bot custom instructions to follow on every request so you don't have to repeat yourself. So I set one that says on all flows, add a fault path to every action in DML and have the fault path email info@forceclaw.ai. And that's why the diagram included that error path. Now, obviously, a before save flow can't have a fault path, and you'll see ForceClaw catch that issue itself in a moment. So I was happy with the plan, but as you can see, it said it was going to name a position set location for HR. I didn't like that name because I thought maybe we might add other functionality to this flow in the future. So I said, yes, the plan's good, but can you name the flow position before save so we can add other automation later? And because I told it to go ahead, you can see it went ahead and built this. It added the field, it added the pick list value, HR, so now it lists out the rest of the pick list values, and it said it created this flow position before save. And it did give me a link to the flow, but actually I already have it open because I want to show you I actually made a mistake with this one. So this was the first version, and you could see it put a condition for the department to be HR in the entry criteria. And I didn't like that because, again, I thought we may edit this flow in the future so it includes other automation. So if that was the case, then we don't want entry criteria. We want that to be in a decision element. And if I go back and you can look in the plan mode, it did say it was going to put that in entry criteria, and I didn't catch that before I told it to go ahead. So that's why I kept it there. But then I told it, sorry, I made a mistake. I don't want the entry criteria because we may use this flow again for other automation. Instead, move that to a decision element that checks if the department is HR and insert or is updated to HR. So then we went back into planning mode. It told me it was going to update the flow again. But you can see here, it said it was going to add a decision element that checks if the department is HR or did the department change regardless of value. And that wasn't right either. Obviously, we only wanted to update the location of headquarters if the department specifically changes to HR. So I told it, again, we're still in planning mode, so we're going to have a back and forth, me and ForceClaw, until we land on the actual plan that I want. So I said, no, the decision element should be department equals HR, and it's an insert or an update of the department field, not updated to any value. It has to be to HR. So ForceClaw understood my request. It corrected itself in the planning mode here. And then once I was satisfied with the decision, it said, should I go ahead? I said yes. And then it updated this flow. And it gave me a link again. And this is the new live version. You can see this version is exactly right. It's position before save flow. There's no entry criteria, as you can see here. and there's a decision element checking if we either our department on insert or it was updated to HR, and if that is the case, then it's going to set the location to headquarters. And just going back to what we talked about with that fault path, I did see that here as well. Note, I did not add the fault path because before save flows can't send emails. That's a Salesforce limitation. So ForceClaw did correct itself there, even though it put that in the initial plan. It realized I'm not able to add a fault path to the before save flow. That's only an after saves. And if this was an after save flow, then I would have read my custom instructions and added the fault path as needed. So start to finish, just a couple of messages, no point and click. ForceClaw does all the Salesforce work for you.